The sun beat down mercilessly over Naval Base Coronado as a young woman stepped out of a rideshare, clutching a small duffel bag. Her name was Elena Brooks, and at barely 24, she looked more like a college student than someone authorized to walk through the gates of one of the most secure military installations in the country. Her hair was tied in a loose braid, her posture neat but humble. Nothing about her appearance screamed military. No rank beans, no uniform at all, just a civilian badge around her neck and a manila folder tucked under her AR-MT the entrance. The Marines at the checkpoint eyed her suspiciously. "Ma'am, this area is restricted." "What's your purpose?" one asked. Elena handed over her badge without a word. They scanned it, looked at her, scanned it again. Suddenly their expressions shifted, confusion mixed with something else. Curiosity? Respect? Fear? You're cleared for access," the Marine said, stepping aside. But the way he watched her as she walked through the gate suggested he knew something most people didn't. Inside, everything was buzzing with energy. Recruits jogged in formation, instructors shouted commands, and Navy SEAL candidates struggled under the weight of massive logs. Yet Elena moved through it all quietly, unnoticed by most. That is, until she reached the training compound, where a man known for his brutal honesty and even more brutal strength was waiting. Chief Petty Officer Grant Fuller, a towering Navy SEAL with scars that could tell 100 stories, spotted Elena approaching. He stood with arms folded, posture wide, and his usual smirk plastered across his face. Well, he chuckled loudly enough for his men to hear. Did someone lose their intern? A couple of SEALs snickered. Elena stopped calm, composed. "I'm here to evaluate candidate performance reports." Grant raised an eyebrow. "You evaluate SEAL candidates? What's your rank, sweetheart?" "Girl Scout Commander." More laughter erupted. She did not blink. She did not smile. She simply looked at him with quiet steadiness, the kind that unsettles even the strongest men. "I don't hold a military rank," she said softly. "I'm here in a different capacity." Grant grinned mockingly. "So civilian paperwork stuff? Then you're on the wrong field. SEAL business is for—" "She knows exactly where she is," interrupted a voice behind him. Everyone turned. Commander Riley Hayes, the base's executive officer, walked toward them with swift, purposeful steps. His usual sternness gave way to something else when he saw Elena, something approaching nervous respect. "Chief Fuller," Hayes said, "stand down." He turned to Elena. "Mom, welcome. We weren't expecting you this early." The laughter stopped instantly. Grant blinked. "Mom? What?" Hayes spoke sharply. "Chief, you'll show her the training data she requests." Immediately, Grant, confused and irritated, muttered under his breath. "Who the hell is she?" If only he knew. Elena Brooks had no military rank, but she had something far more powerful. She was the Pentagon's youngest behavioral threat assessment analyst, a prodigy who had been studying military psychology since she was 16. But even that wasn't her full story. Her father, Captain Daniel Brooks, was once a legendary SEAL, respected by every man on that base. When he died during a covert rescue mission, Elena was only 13. Every officer on Coronado knew his name. Every SEAL respected his memory, but only a handful knew he had a daughter. Even fewer had ever seen her, and none expected this quiet, gentle woman to be her. Grant led her into the training center, still confused. "So what exactly are you evaluating?" he grumbled. "Jump heights. Pull-ups? Endurance? No, Elena replied. Character." The word hit him harder than he expected. She observed candidates in silence. How they encouraged each other, how they handled stress, fatigue, fear. She wrote notes quickly, efficiently, her eyes missing nothing. At one point, she approached a candidate struggling under a heavy rucksack. "You're distributing weight improperly," she murmured. The recruit adjusted instantly and improved. Grant stared. "How do you even see that?" Elena didn't answer. Instead, she walked toward a group performing underwater training. One man panicked, rising too fast. Elena dove in, fully clothed, swift, controlled, expert. She reached him before a safety diver did. When they surfaced, Grant stood speechless. How? How do you know rescue protocols? He asked, stunned. Elena simply wrung water from her braid. My father taught me. Grant froze. Her father? But before he could ask more, a voice echoed through the training yard. Everyone, stand at attention. Commanders, SEALs, recruits, officers. Every man halted. Grant stiffened reflexively. What's going on? He whispered. Then he heard it. The base has received classified personnel alerts, announced Commander Hayes, stepping forward. Please remain silent as we confirm identity. Elena stepped ahead calmly. Hayes lifted a tablet and spoke loudly for all to hear. Identity confirmed. Clearance level black. Full access granted to Elena Daniel Brooks. Silence dropped like a stone in the SEAL community. Black clearance was rare, reserved only for those with access to deeply classified operations. Grant's heart sank. Brooks, Daniel Brooks, the legendary captain he'd idolized, and this quiet young woman was his daughter. Commander Hayes turned to the assembled SEALs. Officers, enlisted personnel, candidates. This base stands today because men like Captain Brooks gave everything. And this, he gestured to Elena, is the person carrying his legacy forward. She is not here for paperwork. She is here because the Pentagon trusts her with the lives of those standing before her. No one breathed. Grant felt as if the world had tilted beneath him. Then it happened. One SEAL stepped forward, then another, then every man in training formation, every officer, every recruit, in perfect unison. Over 200 men lifted their hands to their brows and saluted Elena Brooks. Not because of her father, but because of her. Her courage, her silence, her strength, her presence. Grant swallowed hard and lifted his hand last, shame and respect warring inside him. She didn't ask for it. She didn't expect it, but she stood there with tears slipping silently down her cheeks. This was the base her father had died protecting. These were the men he had served beside. And now, they honored her. After the ceremony, Grant approached her. Miss Brooks? Elena, I owe you an apology. She looked at him gently. You don't owe me anything, Chief. You didn't know. No, he shook his head. I should have treated you with respect regardless. That's my failing, not yours. She studied him quietly. You're not a bad man, Chief Fuller. You just didn't expect someone like me to stand here. A young woman. No uniform. No visible authority. He winced. She was right. But she wasn't finished. Strength isn't always loud, she said. Power doesn't always wear rank insignia. And leadership, she looked at the recruits nearby. Leadership can come from anyone. Grant had no response. Only respect. Before leaving the base, Elena addressed the entire group. I came here not to judge your toughness, but to see the person behind the uniform. One day, each of you may stand where my father once stood, facing decisions that could save lives or end them. Your muscles will matter then, but your character will matter more. Even Grant straightened unconsciously. Elena continued. My father believed the strongest warriors were the ones who protected the weak. And today, I saw that spirit alive on this base. When she finished, the silence that followed wasn't empty. It was full of respect. Commander Hayes turned to the group. SEALs, one last time. They saluted again. Quiet, unified, unbreakable. As Elena walked toward the exit, Grant called out, If you ever need anything, you come to me. To us. This base will always stand for you. The same way your father stood for us. Elena smiled softly. He'd be proud of you all. And with that, she left, quiet as she came, but leaving the entire Navy base changed forever. And that, right there, is why you should never underestimate someone simply because they don't look like a warrior. Sometimes the most powerful people are the ones you never expect. If this story inspired you, shocked you, or made you believe in real courage, then make sure you subscribe to Grow for Justice for more stories that will open your eyes. And before you go, tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? I'd love to know.